Hi, good evening. Welcome to SBL's Practice to Pass session for December 2020 attempt. This is day 3 tonight and my name is Hassan Dosani. I hope you guys are doing well and keeping safe. If you can hear me clearly, can I have a yes in the question box? Excellent. Very good. Very good. Right, so we'll wait for 60 more seconds for people who are trying to join in. Right, so let's begin tonight's session. First of all, a warm welcome to all of you. And what's today's game plan? Today, we will talk about something very important, which is time management. Okay, this is examiners' most common complaint that the students are not able to manage time. More than the examiners, most students from whom I get feedback, they have the same issue, time management. So today I will guide you how to manage your time. After that, we will be doing like 3 topics. We will talk about hormones, process strategy metrics. We will talk about big data along with CRM, and then e-business and e-marketing. Okay, before we proceed for this, there's a word of caution for students who are attending this webinar tonight for the first time, that the September webinar included several important topics. The December webinar includes additional new topics, so you have to watch both September and December. Okay, as I normally say, December is season 2. So once you're done with December webinar, you must watch the September webinar. September webinar is based on computer-based approach, and December webinar will be based on manual paper approach. Okay. Those of you who don't know, I manage a global WhatsApp group for SBL only. And if you are not a member of that group, just message me on my WhatsApp and I will add you to the group. Right, so are you guys ready for today's exam technique, which is on time management? Those of you who have appeared in SBL before would know the importance of time management, correct? Okay, so let me open a fresh page and guide you through that. So your paper is basically, it's a 4 hours paper. It's a 4 hours paper, and in which you are supposed to read for 1 hour, or can I say 60 minutes, and the remaining 180 minutes, which is 3 hours, you are supposed to write. Now this is suggested, this is the suggested split. Okay, you can start writing as whenever you want, but normally, you know, we need to read, so we allocate 60 minutes for reading and planning. We call it reading and planning. Okay, so now what do we need to read? So we need to read, first of all, if you remember the paper I showed you on the first day, you need to first read the introduction, followed by, there will be a couple of pages or even 3 pages of requirements, and then there will be 6 exhibits. All in all, this would be like 10 to 12 pages of reading and planning. Now listen very carefully. Most students, they are not able to read the entire thing within 60 minutes. Okay, they are not able to complete their reading within 60 minutes. They overrun on their reading time. That could be many reasons for that. Either your reading speed is slow, or your English is weak, or the case study is too lengthy, or it's too complicated. Whatever the reason, most students, like 80-85% of the students, they are not able to read the entire thing in 60 minutes. Okay, so what I always suggest my students is that prioritize your reading. You select what you read and select what you can defer for later, because as soon as your 60 minutes is up, you need to stop reading and start writing. This you need to understand very clearly, that as soon as your 60 minutes are up, you need to stop reading and start writing. So whatever you can read in 60 minutes, that's very important, right? So going back, there are 2 types of exhibits, you see. So just a minute. Out of this 6 exhibits, these 6 exhibits, there are 2 types. Few exhibits will be what I call one to many, and few exhibits will be 1:1. Okay, when I say 1:1, this one, it simply means that that exhibit is required for one particular question. It's a 1:1, means that that exhibit only contains very specific information pertaining to one specific question. It's a 1:1. But then there will be few exhibits which will contain variety of information, and you will be referring to that exhibits for multiple questions. Okay, so obviously the 1:many exhibits are slightly lengthy, slightly bigger, because they contain all kind of information, and because they contain information pertaining to several questions, they take a little bit more time. So do you understand the concept of 1:1 exhibits and 1:many exhibits? So on an average, out of 6 exhibits, normally 3 exhibits are 1:1 and 3 exhibits are 1:many. Now this is just an average, right? It could be 2 1:1 and 4 1:many. It could be 4 1:1 and 2 1:many, but on an average. So now what do we do? because we have to finish reading within 60 minutes, I will skip 1:1 exhibits. I will push them to later. I will first read the requirements. That's number one. Sorry, the introduction. Then I will read the requirements and make a list of requirements as I suggested in the first class. And then I will read exhibits, but which exhibits? I will read 1:many exhibit. Now these are exhibits which are important exhibits. They cover multiple questions. I will read the 1:many exhibits first, and then in case I'm still left with some time, I will move towards 1:many. Okay, because these 6 exhibits, they are not in sequence. I mean that it's not like the first 3 are 1:many and the last 3 is 1:1. They are all mixed. So you need to be able to identify which exhibits are 1:1 and which exhibits are 1:many. Once you have identified it, you will first read the 1:many exhibits, and then if you have time left, you will read 1:1 exhibit. So this, I just gave you a high level overrun. Okay. Now I'm just going through some questions, and now I will discuss a little bit more on this, but I just want to see some questions. Yeah, so there's some problem with my question box. Okay, so Mariam is asking, how do you identify or distinguish 1:many from 1:1? Exactly. I will tell you in 1 minute. Should we read all requirements in detail? Yes, because you need to make a list of requirements, right? How do we get to know 1:1? I will just tell you some hints. In requirement, there will mention which exhibits belong to which requirement. No. In the requirement, it is not mentioned which exhibit belongs to which requirement. Sometimes, very, very rarely, they mention that, okay, you refer to the fact sheet, but most of the time, the exhibits are not mentioned on the question. Sir, how can I have links to previous? Okay, guys. I just want to remind you that you should only ask questions pertaining to the topic and discussion. Okay. Please, Muhammad Mustaqim, hold these questions towards the end. I will take all the questions in the end, which are not relevant to the current topic. I will take in the end. Okay. So don't ask now. You ask me towards the end of the session. Again, guys, please don't ask questions which is not pertaining to the slide under discussion. Okay, hold your questions which are not pertaining to the slides under discussion. I will not stop the topic in between and answer your questions which are not relevant to the current discussion. Hold your questions which are not relevant, and I will answer them towards the end. All right. Right. So now I'll go back to my slide and show you something. Now you will understand what this slide is. So reading time is 1 hour. Okay. Normally 3 exhibits are 1:many exhibits, and 3 exhibits are 1:1 normally. We will first read these exhibits and do our reference. And then, if you are left with time, we will then read the 1:1. Okay. Now, how do we distinguish or how do we identify which one is 1:many? So there are some typical exhibits. For example, board minutes. So normally board minutes means, board minutes are the records of the meeting of the board of directors. So obviously they discuss a lot of things. So board minutes is 1:many. Also, any kind of meeting or interview transcripts, annual reports. Annual report of our organization will, the CEO report, the chairman report will cover all the aspects of the business. Websites, newspaper articles. So these are some typical exhibits which are 1:many. And sometimes also you will feel that you can judge through the length of the exhibits. Okay, 1:1 exhibit includes financial projections. So any kind of financials, be it financial statements, be it financial position projections, any kind of specific spreadsheet, these are 1:1. They will be short, they will be half page, not even a complete page. So we will read if you read 1:many first, right, and your time is finished, what do you need to do? You need to stop reading and move to drafting. So what happens to the 2 or 3 exhibits, the 1:1 exhibits which you were not able to read? Well, you can always read them once you arrive at that particular question. Okay, because it's a 1:1, it's a very specific exhibit. You can always read them before you start the requirement, before you actually attempt that particular question. Okay. Okay, you can just take a quick look, say 1 or 2 minutes. If you want, you cannot skip. You can just take a very quick look just to give you an idea, but you will read them in detail later on. This is a very important slide. And why it is important? Because most students, they are not able to complete the entire reading in 60 minutes. So most of them, what they do, they actually continue reading, and they, on an average, it takes them like 1 hour and 10 minutes or 1 hour and 15 minutes to read the entire case study. So what happens is you already went into a deficit of time management even before you started drafting your answer. So please, you need to stop. You need to stop. Okay, as soon as 60 minutes are up, you need to stop. So your few of the exhibits will be left. Hopefully those are 1:1 exhibits. You can always read them when you start attempting that particular requirement. Am I clear? I need a yes or a no. Very good, very good, very good. I'm impressed. Good guys. Now, once you are done with the reading time, you need to stop after 60 minutes, right? And you will enter your writing time, which is exactly, you have 3 hours. 3 hours means 180 minutes. And if I divide 180 by total marks, you remember the concept of total marks, which I emphasized yesterday. Total marks is technical marks plus the professional marks is total marks. So if I divide total marks, which is 100, So we got 1.8 minutes per mark. So that is your time allocation. Okay, this is your time allocation thing, that you have 1.8 minutes per total mark. Okay, this total word is very important. Do not plan your stuff on technical marks, follow total marks. Okay, and then you have to keep track of your time, your start time, and you need to stop writing. What to do if your writing time is up? So for example, it's 10 marks question. Okay, and so for 10 marks, how many minutes I need? 18 minutes. Okay, so if I start at 9, I need to finish this by 9:80. Okay, so one of the technique is you can write the ending time on your question paper. You will say, you will write 9:18. So you can keep your eye on the ending time while you are writing, and as soon as you reach 9 minutes and 9 o'clock, sorry, 9:18, you need to stop writing. Okay, you need to stop writing, leave some lines and move to the next question. Because if you continue writing and you feel that, oh, it's just 5 minutes more and I will be able to complete it, so already you are now hijacking the time for the next question. You are going into minus, you're going into a deficit for other questions. You understand that? It's very simple, right? So imagine you say, okay, it's just 5 minutes more and I will wrap it up. And there are like 10 questions, and you overrun 5 minutes or 3 minutes on each question. So by the time you reach your 10th question, you have already overrun 30 minutes. And you will not realize in the end, if you overrun by 30 minutes, your entire one question will get missed out. You understand? Now in SBL, I will share a real example of some of my students. And now these students, my ex-students, they were very, very normal students. Their reading speed was slow. Their English was normal, or I would say slightly below average. And they passed in that attempt, in which some of the brighter students, they were not able to pass. So I was very surprised that these few bunch of students, how they were able to pass, whereas the brighter students, so they told me something very interesting. The one who passed, they said that we followed the time management technique very, very seriously. And they said that, sir, none of our answers were complete. Did you hear that? They said that none of our answers were complete because we ran out of time, because obviously they were a bit slow students. They ran out of time. So what they did was they stopped writing, they leave few lines and they move to the next question. Again, in the next question, when the time went up, they left that question after leaving few lines and they moved to the next question. So they said that, sir, in the end, none of our questions were complete, but we were able to attend all the questions. You understand? None of our answers were complete, but we were able to attempt all the questions. On the other hand, the same attempt, the brighter students who failed, they did not focus on the time management. They overran on the timing, and in the end they told me that they were able to complete the answers, but in the end they missed the last question because of bad time management. So from that I gathered that it's very important in SBL to attempt all the questions rather than attempting 4 questions and completely missing the 5th question. Supposing the 5th question was on risk management, examiner would have no idea whether you know risk management or not because you haven't attempted it. He will fail you at 47, 48, 49. So I would rather prefer that you attempt. I would rather suggest that all your answers should be incomplete, but at least you attempt all the questions. So that is why this sign stop means that whenever your time is up, you leave lines. And why do we leave lines? That sometimes maybe you might be left with some time in the end. You can always come back. Sometimes there is a very difficult question which you don't know the head and the tail. You have no clue how to handle, so you might skip that question and give time to other questions. So do leave some lines so that if you get a chance, you can always come back and try to complete it. So this is the secret of SBL. It is time management. Everybody knows time management. It is about strictly following it, strictly following the discipline, having the guts to leave a question and move to the next question. Okay, now I'll take questions. How many minutes should we take to draft our answers? Oh my God, Nick, I just said 1.8 minutes per mark. Okay. And do you mind disclosing? Yes, Ali. Why are you sending me question marks? What if I finish reading within an hour? Should I continue with questions right away? Yes, good question. Motlatsi is saying, what if I finish reading before this 1 hour? Then right away start your answer. That's a great start. CBE students does not need to leave lines. Again, Salman, you're asking irrelevant questions which is not pertaining to the slide under discussion. Do you, hi sir, do you mind disclosing how many marks these students get? Cassie Chong, yeah, these students, they got like 54, 50, they were in between 54 and 56, 57, right? So obviously they will not get good marks, but their objective was just to clear this paper, okay? But it is so stressful to hold time for every mark. Yeah, it is stressful. So SBL is all about stress management. It's not difficult topic wise. SBL is all about this crazy stress, reading, linking, time management. Can't see time in CBE, only the countdown. Okay, then you can have your own watch. Any good strategy to stay within time? It's very subjective. It all depends on, sometimes these questions are so lengthy. There's no specific way to stay within time. Just count the number of points. If you want to stay within time, count the number of points, or sorry, plan the number of points you need to write. Remember yesterday's session, I told you how you decide the number of points and how you decide the number of lines. If you follow that, most of the time you will be able to complete within time. What about time management for professional marks? Amir Raza, I said time management 1.8 minutes based on total marks, which includes professional marks. So it's all inclusive in this, okay? Ali, where is your question? Yeah, sir, if we change the sequence of reading exhibits, won't we lose the crux of the entire case? No, Ali. Ali is saying if we change the sequence of reading exhibits, Will we not, miss the crux? No. The exhibits are all standalone exhibits. It doesn't matter if you read the financials first or you read the financials in the last. Okay. Good question, Ali. How a point looks like? It's just a small. I think Muhammad Mustaqim, were you not there yesterday? Yesterday I explained the size of a point. Your point should be a one paragraph of 4 to 6 lines. Okay, that's it. Examiner answer is way too lengthy. I agree, because that answer is not fit for exam conditions. That answer is for illustrative and learning purposes. That is why the examiner answer is 3 times lengthy. But you, my friend, in the exam conditions, you will never be able to write that kind of lengthy answers, right? If what forget about you, even I will not be able to write. So in the exam, your one point should be 4 to 6 lines maximum. Okay. Yes, I agree, Susmita. Also, they might have missed yesterday's session. That's why they're asking such questions. Yes. All right. So let's move on. So please, the long story short is it's a 4-hour paper, 1 hour for reading and 3 hours for writing. You need to strictly enforce this discipline. Okay. And once the reading time is up, you should stop reading and move to drafting. Once the allocated time for each question is up, you must leave lines and move to the next questions. This is the discipline, and hopefully you will be able to attempt all the questions, and and just a minute, guys. Right, so sorry guys, so this is the long story short. Okay, now let's move on. Now these are the topics, uh, very important topics, like chairman and CEO, splitting of roles, board committees, remuneration, diversity, insider trading, family owned, external, internal control, skepticism, integrated reporting, and section of a report. These topics were covered in September webinar day 3. Okay. Please watch September webinar day 3 so that you cover these topics, because I am not covering this topic. I want to cover new topics. Now, starting for today's topic, it's called Harmon's Process Strategy Matrix. So the background is, in any organization, there are several processes. Okay, processes means a disciplined way of doing a certain task. So even if we talk about finance, there will be a proper process for payment processing. There will be a proper process for tax management, a process for fixed assets, a process for collections, a process for monthly closing, a process for reporting. In inventory department, there will be a process for goods receiving notes. There will be a process for wastages. So each and every department, they all will have processes. Okay, because so that the organizations can perform in a efficient manner. Correct? Now, should we give equal importance to each process, or Are the processes, all of them, equal in importance? No. Some process will be very important. Some process will be less important. Okay, it's about high and low. All processes are important. All processes are important. Don't get me wrong. Because if the process was not important, it wouldn't have been there in the first place, right? So all processes are important. It's just that some will be high important and some will be relatively low importance. Okay. Similarly, some processes will be simple and some processes will be complex. So Harman process strategy, it helps us to prioritize. It helps us to prioritize. Prioritize. I always mess up with the spelling of prioritize. So Harman process matrix, it helps us to prioritize our processes into 4 categories: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that we can focus more on the critical processes and we focus less on the less critical process. So how do Mr. Harmon, how does he prioritize? Based on the strategic importance of that process. Is that process strategically important? Low importance versus high importance? And y-axis, he talks about the complexity. Low complex means simple and high complex means it's a complex. So based on strategic importance and process complexity, Mr. Harmon, he categorizes the processes into 4 groups. Now I want to tell you something. The word is strategic importance. Not importance, but strategic importance. Okay. So anything can be important. All processes are important, right? But not all of them will be strategically important. Now, what is the meaning of strategically importance? Now, strategically important means which is very important to our business objectives. For example, if it affects my revenue, if it affects my customers, if it affects my market share, if it affects my competitive edge, if it affects my future growth, then these are strategically important things. Okay, always remember, something strategically important will always revolve around companies' revenues and customers, market share, comp edge, future growth. These are stuff relating to strategic importance. Okay, so having nice toilets, having nice washrooms, do you think it's important? Of course. How can you be in an office without washrooms? But is it strategically important? Is it linked to the mission or objective of the organization? Does it affect my comp edge? No. So you feel the difference. Everything is important. Every process is important. Don't get me wrong. But few of them will be strategically important. Rest of them will be less strategic important. Right? It says lower. Okay. Now we'll talk about this box. This box. So this is a box. These are processes which has low strategic importance and low complexity. Low strategic importance and they are simple. So anything which has low strategic importance, anything which has low strategic importance we should try and outsource, because we don't want the company to be focusing on less strategic activities. So if we outsource, then we can focus more on our strategic activities, right? So the first option here is outsource. So we try to normally outsource those activities which has low strategic importance and low complexity. The other option is, if we don't want to outsource, then we automate. Please, we don't do it manually. We then try to automate using off-the-shelf software. Off-the-shelf software means these are ready-made softwares. You just go and buy the license and start using. The idea is, do not waste your time, do not waste your money on this box. Either you outsource to a vendor, get rid of it, or you automate it. It works on its own by using a cheap standard off-the-shelf software. Do I have any questions on the first box? Any questions on Harmon? Yes, I will give examples. Definitely. Once I cover 2-3 boxes, I will give example. Very good. Okay, let's continue. The second box, this one. This box, okay. Now this is a box. Again, it has a low strategic importance, but it's complex. It's got low strategic importance. On top of it, it is a bloody complex task. And when anything which is complex requires certain expertise. You and I cannot handle complex tasks unless we are trained in it, right? So for these kind of tasks, he simply says outsource. But who? To a specialist vendor. That's important. You cannot outsource these kind of tasks to amateur, because these are complex tasks. These are technical activities. We need to outsource them to a proper vendor who is a specialist of this kind of activity, right? So now let's talk about some examples. Let's talk about this one first, the first one. Any ideas? Would you like to share some examples of any task which is very simple and I have examples. I'm just trying to see whether you can come up with examples. Call service or call center. Okay, cleaning. Okay, cleaning or payroll. Okay, payroll is a good example. Okay, thank you for sharing. Let's talk about payroll. We all know what a payroll is, right? So supposing you are a company who has 4,000 employees, because you are a factory, you've got labor, 24-hour shift, 7 days a week, all those people, all those labor coming in, time sheets, time out, time in, overtime, absent, sick, blah, blah, blah. 4,000 employees. First thing is payroll processing. Is payroll processing important? Absolutely. Payroll, everything which a company does is important. There is no doubt. Payroll processing is important. But the question is not just important. The question is payroll processing strategically important? Does it affect my customers, my revenue, my competition edge, my future growth? No. The customer doesn't even know how or which software we are using for our payroll purposes, right? So it's not strategically important. The company does not exist to do payroll processing. Okay, it's not part of our mission or objective. So payroll processing is low strategic importance. I'm not saying no importance, it's a low importance, and it is simple. Payroll is not complicated. It can be tedious, it can be voluminous, but it's not complicated. So two options: either we can outsource the payroll to an HR company who is a specialist in managing payrolls for a lot of companies. It will be cheaper, more efficient, because those are, they do it as a profession. Or if I don't want to outsource, then I must automate it. I should not do it manually. I must just get a software, preferably an off-the-shelf ready-made software, and do it. Clear? Very good. Let me look at comments. What is comp edge? Okay, comp edge is competitive edge. Competitive edge means that customer prefers you over your competitors. So it's an edge. Accounting services, yes, even accounting services to some extent, like in my company, our payment processing is outsourced. You've heard of factoring, debtors factoring. You outsource the collection. So anything which is not strategically important, you outsource. But then think about this one as well. Now this example for this one is very interesting. How about legal or tax? Okay, let's talk about tax. So all countries, they have these corporate taxations and VATs and indirect taxes. So taxes can be pretty complicated because it involves law, and it can be a nuisance. Okay, and it can lead you to fines and penalties and goodwill, and all those things bad things can happen because it's very complicated. Is it important? Yeah, it's important. I think it's very important to manage tax, but is it strategically important? Is it linked to my customers, my market share? No, it's a back office function. It is something which we have to do, but we don't exist to do that, right? It's not part of our mission. I will outsource my tax matters, but to whom? To any Tom, Dick, and Harry? Or I should look for a specialist vendor. I should look for a firm who is an expert in taxation. They should have a good track record. They should have good clientele, good experience, good reputation. Because I am putting my tax matters into an outsourced vendor hand, he better be good. Okay. Right. Yes. Very good. Even advertisements. Okay. Advertisement is a tricky example, because sometimes I feel that advertising is strategically important, but because it affects my customers, my revenue. So I'll stay away from that. Now come to this one, this box. Now these are tasks which are high strategic importance, but they are simple. They're not complex. For these tasks, it is suggested that we automate. We will not outsource. Anything which is high strategic importance, the company should try and do it themselves. So no outsourcing. We will automate, and we will try to use bespoke softwares. Bespoke softwares are specialized, like software specially made for you. So you can tailor made those softwares. You can have your own, so that if you tailor made your software, you can make it really nice. It can fulfill all your requirements. Maybe it can attract customers like an app. So if the app is very nicely done, so it will differentiate you from other competitors, right? So automate using tailor-made or bespoke software. And for this task, you also follow the same thing. You will automate using bespoke software, plus what else? Hire best experts or employees or resources, because this task is high on strategic importance, but on the other hand, it is also complex. It's a complex task, and we cannot outsource because it is high importance. So we need to do in-source, in-house. So for us to do in-house, we need to hire the best experts, the best people in the town. Now come to examples. So a good example of this would be customer ordering process. So you think customer ordering process, is it important? Oh yes. Is it strategically important? I believe so. Because customer, when they place an order, that's the first interaction with the customer. And if you mess up, if you mess his order, he will not only complain, but he might move to another brand if you don't handle his order properly. Just imagine yourself, you book your paper with ACCA, right? That's a customer ordering process. You booked your paper with ACCA, you registered for the paper, and supposing they forget about you, they take your money and then they delete your data, you will sue them, right? And you will always be, talk bad about them. So customer ordering process is definitely high strategic importance. But is it complex? No, it's not rocket science. So for that, we will use special softwares. There are CRMs, customer relationship management softwares. We should develop proper apps, proper softwares and systems so that, sorry guys, my neck is giving up, so that the customer gets a seamless, excellent experience of customer ordering, customer order handling, right? Now, any example of this task? Research and development. So all this, think about Samsung or Apple. Every 3 months they come up with a new cell phone, a new model. And how are they coming up with this new model? They are constantly doing research and innovation. Both Samsung and Apple have huge teams dedicated for just futuristic designs and innovation. Do you think research and innovation is strategically important for Samsung and Apple? Definitely yes, because their market share, their revenues depends on how good they come up with new models. So they hire the best of the best people because it is a strategically important activity and it is a complex thing. They automate the entire process, but not only automate, they also hire the best people available in the world so that they can beat their competitors. Right. So do you understand? So all it's just a simple game of assumption. You need to first decide whether that particular activity is low strategic important or high strategic important? How will you decide? You will look at this checklist. If it affects any of this, it's high importance. If it doesn't affect any of this, it's low importance. Then you need to decide whether that process is simple or complex. Once you have decided these two things, it's very simple. Outsource, outsource, automate, automate. Let me check questions and then I can move to. Oh, Murtaza, you're feeling bored? Yeah. I'm just going to the questions. Aha. So one interesting comment. This guy said that Apple has outsourced its manufacturing to China. Do you understand? Apple has outsourced its manufacturing to China. So this shows that manufacturing is not Apple's core focus. Their core focus is basically innovation and customer service, branding, marketing. Okay, so that is why they have outsourced to a specialized. Same applies with Nike. Have you heard of this brand Nike? Nike, the shoes, the sportswear. They don't own a single factory. They have all outsourced their manufacturing to a lot of countries: Sri Lanka, Vietnam, China, Pakistan, India, because they feel that the actual manufacturing is not their core activity. Their core activity is innovation, quality, branding, and all those things. All right. So let's let's do a small question and then take a break. I will not do this full question. I will just do one part of this question so that you understand how a question can come in the exam. Okay, so this is P3 March June 2017 called DHA question number 4A. This one. Okay, this is P3 March June 2017 question number 4. Required: determine the position of process 2 and 3 on Harmon's process strategy matrix. Given its position on the matrix, recommend how improvements in each of these processes should be implemented, stating any potential difficulties in making such improvements. So first we need to decide process 2 and 3, which box do they fall on Harmon, and then what needs to be done with it. Okay. So let's read the little bit of a background of this company so that you understand the processes. So Deep Land Housing Agency is a public sector agency responsible for housing low-income families and vulnerable residents of deep land. So it's a public sector company, agency, which provides housing to poor people. DHA employs full-time permanent advisors who interview applicants to assess their housing needs. They are also required to make regular monitoring visits to residents who have been housed by DHA. The emotional pressure on advisors are high as they are often exposed to distressing cases of hardship affecting their fellow deep land residents. Consequently, turnover is high. So it's a government agency who provides housing to poor people, and they have got these advisors who actually interview the poor people, and then they analyze the need, and then they monitor and visits all those things. Now they have certain processes. Process 1 is scheduling of customer appointments. Process 2 talks about staff training and development, and process 3 legal advice and compliance. So let's look at process 3 for illustrative purposes, and then we will have a break. Process 3 is legal advice and compliance. So deep land has a complex legal system, and there are employment, tax, and health and safety laws which directly affects DHA. The ruling party changes regularly, and with it the laws. Right. So they have a complex legal system, a lot of laws, and they regularly change. So where will it go on the complexity? Can you tell me? On this box, process complexity, low or high for legal department, process complexity, low or high? High, because I clearly saw the word complex in the question, right? Now, DHA currently employs a full-time permanent legal team which keep managers, advisors, and other staff up to date with changes in the legislation. So in DHA, there's a full-time permanent legal team which is on our payroll, right? The team comprises of 5 different employees, each of whom spends approximately 50% of their time on work for the agency, 30% in professional training, and 20% underutilized. Oh my God. So there are 5 lawyers. 50% of the time they work for our company, 30% of the time they spend in their own professional upgrades and training, and the remaining 20% they are just sitting and having a nice time. Oh my God. The professional training is necessary to keep up to date with the legislation in their particular area of expertise. Okay. Although the team is underutilized, the company retains 5 staff as they each have different areas of expertise. Very interesting. DHA is concerned that this team is expensive to employ and that the increasing number of laws and compliance requirements makes it difficult for them to identify all issues which could potentially affect DHA. Consequently, it is considering the options for the future provision of this service. So now they are asking us that determine the position of process 2 and process 3 on Harmon's process strategy matrix. Given its position on the matrix, recommend how improvements should be made, stating any potential difficulties. So this process, is it complex? Yes, it's complex. Is it strategically important? Think about it. Do we exist? Is it a part of our mission? Does it affect our revenues, customers, market share, competitiveness? Is it strategically important, high or low? We can say, yeah, but to some extent. So it's okay, low. Low, yeah. So strategic importance is low. Its complexity is high. What do we do? Which box? It goes here. Low importance, high complexity. So what is the suggested strategy for this box. We need to outsource to a specialist vendor. That's the proposal of Harmon, that any task which has low strategic but high complexity should be outsourced. Right now, what we are doing, we have insourced. Insourced means that we have permanently hired 5 people. They are expensive. They are on our payroll. They are 20% underutilized. 30% of the time they are spending on their own professional upgrades. So what do you recommend now? What do you recommend? Yes, so what do we recommend? That we should say that because it is a low strategic importance and high complexity, it is suggested that the legal activity should be outsourced to a proper, reputable law firm. Okay, in that way we will have expertise. All the benefits of outsourcing will come in. And what could be a possible problem? Because the question wants you to talk about some, also stating potential difficulties. How, if we outsource to a law firm, can you think of any practical difficulty? For example, can we find a firm who offers all the 5 specialty or not? Or do we need to hire 5 different firms with 5 different specialty? Or how do we monitor with these guys? How do we interact with these law firms? Do we need an in-house lawyer who can talk to these guys, or what? So anything, any problem you can think of. Okay, but the main thing is, did you understand how it's done? How do you decide strategic importance and process complexity? Very good, very good. So any questions now, or we are 7:30? Oh, we've got time. Okay. I thought that it's time for break. Yes, this kind of question, we always use Harmon's process matrix. Is the strategic importance subjective? Yes, Sharik, it's subjective. Confidentiality may be breached when outsourcing? Definitely, yes. You can mention that one of the difficulty would be to maintain confidentiality. Very good. Right, right. Now, there is one more process, which is process 2. But let's forget about it. Right. So now we will wrap up Harmon process strategy matrix and move on to the next topic. It's called big data. So I'm sure that most of you have heard of this word big data. And there's a lot of material. There has been an article, technical article on this, but not recently, or some time back, a year or so back. But it's not a difficult topic. I will just give you a concept. The more important thing is basically the advantages and the disadvantages of big data. Okay, but first we'll understand the concept so that you are able to understand the advantages. So as the name says, it's very simple. Big data means a lot of data, and a lot of data means really a lot of data, like huge data beyond your imagination. Okay, and the main thing is that the data, it includes unstructured data. So big data is a lot of data, but most of the data is unstructured data. That's the key word. Okay, so now what the hell So there are two types of data. There could be structured data and there is unstructured data. Okay. So structured data was always there. It was always there since last 30, 20, 40 years. All organizations, they carry data, right? If you're working in a bank, the bank has a lot of data, not from today, not from 5 years, from donkey's years. So data was always there, but it was all structured data. Structured data means numeric data, numbers and figures and transactions and orders, a data which can be easily organized, not subjective, objective data, mostly figures and numbers and quantities, percentages, all these things. Structured data was there. Now, but because of this social media, because when the social media came, which is basically all these Facebooks and Twitters and WhatsApps, because of these gave birth to something called unstructured data. Now, unstructured data is subjective data. For example, if you are browsing through your Facebook and you see a nice picture, you will press like button. Or if you don't like something, you see something bad, you will press shocking face button. So these emojis are actually telling me your state of mind. When you are pressing, so for example, if I see pictures of nature and I press like, suddenly Facebook will start sending me more pictures of nature, and I will press like, and I will press like. So with that, I'm pressing like. It's actually telling Facebook that I really love pictures relating to nature. So it's an unstructured data. I did not tell anyone I like nature, but because of my emojis, you can make out the emoji is unstructured data. Similarly, I wrote some, let's say there's some election going, this US election, right? Last week, US election is going on, and I saw some stupid comments about Trump, and I'm not a Trump follower, so I wrote some comments against that comments. So those comments which I wrote is unstructured data. It's subjective, but it tells the reader about my mindset. If I participate into a religious argument, taking side of one of the groups, it will tell me tell the user about my mindset. So because of social media, anything which I do, like likes, comments, my contact lists, all these things, my sharings, my pictures, they they can give away a lot of information about you. And that is why they are called unstructured data, because these are not numbers. These are just subjective data which tells us about your personality, your likes, your beliefs, right? So now what is big data? It is an extremely large collection of data, mostly unstructured data. Okay, because of social media. And then this unstructured data is analyzed to reveal trends and patterns, especially relating to customer habits and behaviors. Because it's very simple. The more amount of data you have, the better you will be able to analyze and extract some meaningful information, right? So the bigger the data, the better. And if that data is structured plus unstructured, it can really tell me a lot about what's trending in the world, what's going on in your mind, what's happening in your friend circle. So there are three characteristics of big data. So not every data is a big data. There has to be three conditions which needs to be fulfilled. One is volume, that in order to be qualified as a big data, the data has to be really big. It goes into petabytes. Okay, it requires servers of a size of a football field. So imagine a football field, and you fill the entire football field with servers to store data. That is the amount of data we are talking about, petabytes. So the volume has to be very big. So companies like Google, they have this kind of data. Companies like Facebook, they have this kind of data. Companies like Amazon, they have this kind of data, right? The second thing is that the data should have variety of data, not just structured, but it should also include unstructured data, full variety of data, structured data, unstructured data, likes and contact list of the person, likes and dislikes and comments and groups and all the pictures, variety of data. And the third thing is velocity. Velocity means speed. Okay, so whatever the data is there, it needs to be processed very quickly, because customer, for example, think about Google Maps. Okay, so I think you must have used Google Maps. So it's right, it's real time, right? Google data, Google Maps is real time. It will tell you that there's an accident, there's a traffic jam like 1 kilometer ahead. So it's gathering a lot of data, but not just gathering, it is processing all the data in such a speed that the customer can actually benefit from it. So these are the three characteristics of big data. But don't worry about it. The simple meaning is a big data is a huge collection of data, mostly unstructured data, which is then analyzed to determine trends and behaviors and patterns, so that we can target our customers with better products and marketing strategies. What could be the advantages of big data? It's very simple. You know the meaning of big data. Their advantage would be deeper insight into the data, obviously, and based on that, we will do better marketing and pricing strategies. Because I know the customer inside out, I know his profile, I would be able to do better marketing, personalized marketing, better pricing strategies, improved customer service, and obviously, if I do all this, it will increase my competitiveness. I can develop personalized products, and it can be a new source of additional revenue. Okay, got it. So many, it's very basic. If I have the right data, I can do a lot of things. I can take a lot of marketing strategies, planning decisions. So big data gives me that opportunity. But then there are certain disadvantages or risks of big data. There's a big risk of data security. Data security is a big thing. Data storage is a big thing. You know, it's very costly to store so much amount of data and store it securely, because it includes personal data, it includes sensitive data. So, and it can lead to legal issues if something bad happens. If the data is breached, you can land into legal problem. Okay. So do you understand the big picture of big data? It's a huge data which companies use it. So this Google and Facebook, they have this big data which they sell. So all these marketing companies, they buy data from Google and Facebook so that they can analyze their target segment and come up with strategies, right? And advantages. So do I have any questions on big data? Yes, Sharik. Sharik is asking, is this data then analyzed through data analytics technique? Absolutely, yes. How the big data is the data itself. How do you analyze it? Those are AIs, artificial intelligence, data analytic techniques, robotics. They kind of, how is big data tested in exam? I will just show you because I've selected the question from SBL. It has been asked in the exam couple of times. Yes, I will show you the questions in in a bit. Variety, other example, variety of data means it consists of all kind of data. Variety of data means the data is not only financial, it contains non-financial data as well, like comments and likes and all those things. Any data which you can extract other than financial, that's variety. Forget about veracity, don't worry. Cookies may help to some extent, but it doesn't fulfill the criteria of volume, right? Okay. The next topic is CRM, and after I do CRM, then we will I will do a question on big data. CRM. So what is a CRM? CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management Systems. Okay, and what are these? These are specialized softwares to manage interaction and communication with customers electronically. Okay, these are specialized softwares to interact or communicate with customers. So you would see a lot of examples in your real life. For example, if you place an online order, you will immediately get a confirmation on your phone, on a notification, right? So that notification is basically CRM. Maybe it's your birthday and you give a happy birthday notification on your birthday. Maybe you can get reminders, right? You can get reminders. So it's a notification, that's through CRM. You have a complaint, you have a feedback. When you enter the CRM, they manage your complaints and feedbacks. You want to track orders. If you have sent a parcel through DHL and you want to track CRM, through CRM, the customer will be able to track. So CRM is a software through which the customer, the customer interacts with the software. It, basically, it's there to build relationship. It helps us to remain in constant touch with the customer so that the relationship is there. Is okay. So when we talk about CRM, there are two broad functions or options in CRM. First option is called customer and how to acquire customers. The CRM, it collects a lot of email data from here and there, and then it sends relevant emails and articles to those people and send demos and videos. So it interacts with whoever we gather a lot of email database, and then the CRM starts sending information and interesting things to that person. For customer retention, It means that our existing customers, the CRM, they help in order placing and tracking. For example, you order a food, so you can order up food, and then you can track the status of your order. It can give you reminders and notifications. It can also manage your auto payments. You can put on auto payments. For example, your electricity bills, utility bills, you put on auto payments. Your credit card payments, you put on auto payments. All this is managed through CRMs, and then CRM will also give you reports and summaries so that you can analyze and take decisions. Okay, so CRM is a software which basically interacts with the customers. There are two broad modules. One is for new customers, one is for existing customers. What are the advantages of having a CRM? Why should company go for CRMs? And almost all companies have CRM in one form or other, because better interaction with customers, marketing and relationship building through emails, notifications, personalizations, sales management through inquiries, order placing, order tracking, auto payments. It helps in after sales service like feedbacks, complaints, reminders, FAQs. It helps in analysis like data analysis, intelligence, big data. So this is a software which manages all these things: new customers, the marketing, the order processing, the after sales services, analysis. Okay, do I have any questions on CRM? How it helps in acquisition? Simple. Don't you get emails from here and there? Automated emails, so it sends automated emails to every people. Data mining of forget about it, doesn't matter, it's not important. CRM can also be used in customer loyalty program. Oh yes, Shabris, good point. There are many loyalty programs, so yes, you use CRM in that as well. ACCA emails are through CRM. If they are automated emails, then they are the CRM if it's automated emails. If some person is drafting on one-to-one basis, then it's not a CRM. So CRM is automated thing, right? If you receive reminders from ACCA through automation, that's a CRM which is working behind the scenes. What is a loyalty program? Oh my God. Okay, don't bother about it. CRM is used in service company or manufacturing company. Every company, wherever there is a customer. C stands for customer, right? Wherever there's a customer, it can be used. I'm into insurance, right? So I'm into service industry. We actively use CRMs because we use it for notifications. If there's a claim, there's a payment reminder, there's a there, da, da, da. So wherever there's a customer and you need to talk to the customer, you can automate it by using CRMs. CRM, how it will be asked in the exam? It will just talk about, it has been actually asked once in the exam. They will talk about the features of a CRM and what are the advantages of a CRM. I repeat, the question will ask you what are the features of a CRM. By features, what do you mean by features? We can, there's a customer acquisition option, and there's a customer retention. These are the core features of a CRM. This is for new customers, these are for existing customers. And what are the advantages? You must remember this advantages. Right, so with this, let's take a break. It's in 8:59. It must be 9:59 in Pakistan. So let's say 10 p.m. Pakistan time. I will give you 15 minutes. So I will see you at 10:15 p.m. Okay. All right, guys. See you around. Right. So welcome back. Can you please confirm to me that you can hear me? Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. Right. So before the break, we did two small topics. One was big data and one was CRM. For both the questions, for both the topics, we must basically know what it means and more importantly, the advantages of both things. Okay. So now let's see how big data can be tested in the exam. And let's open up SBL September 2018 paper called CC, question number 4A. So September 2018 was the first paper of SBL. Okay. So September 18 question 4A. Right. So this is your SBL paper, September 2018. And we'll hit for, sorry guys. We'll hit for September 2018 question number 4. So introduction, requirement 1, 2, 3, 4. It is now October 2022, 6 months after CC began construction of the new road in Beetle. So, you know, CC is a company which builds roads. Okay. It's a company which specializes in building roads and road management and all those stuff. It operates in 3 countries. You are Pat Singh, a consultant employed by CC's board. So in SBL paper, you will always be given a particular role. That's the interesting part of this thing, SBL, that you will always be given a role. In some of the paper, your role was fixed. You were the finance manager of the company. So in all the questions, you will answer like you are the finance manager. In certain exams, in certain papers, your role was changed according to the questions. So here in this particular scenario, you are Pat Singh. They even gave you a name, Pat Singh, and you are a consultant employed by the CC's board. So you are an outsider. Now, Burton, CC's chief executive, has asked you to help him to prepare for the next board meeting, which will discuss investment in big data analytics and offering long-term infrastructure management for roads in Omega Land, Alphia, and Beta. So the CEO has asked you to prepare for the next board meeting to discuss the investment in big data and offering long-term infrastructure management for roads in Omega Land, Alphia, and Beetle. These are the 3 countries where this company operates. Required. Prepare 2 presentation slides together with accompanying notes for the chief executive to present to the board, which discusses the benefits and the costs of CC of investing in big data analytics and evaluates the possible opportunity to undertake long-term infrastructure management of roads in the 3 countries. So 2 slides are required. Do you see this word 2 is in caps? It's in caps. So 2 slides are required, one for this one and one for this one. Professional skills marks are available for demonstrating communication skills in presenting the points in the slides concisely, and for the supporting notes which will make the issues clear to the board. 8 marks for technical and 10 marks for professional. Total marks, sorry, 8 marks technical, 2 marks professional, total marks 10. How many minutes I have? 18 minutes. Simple, we apply 1.8 minutes per mark. So we've got 18 minutes to read this question, plan our answer, and start writing. So you understood the question? Part 1, it says discuss the benefits and the costs of CC, of investing in big data, and second one is evaluate the possibility. So there is a specific exhibit which I want to read. So exhibit 1 is extracts from the most recent annual report. So do you remember 1:1, 1 is too many? You remember we discussed in the start, there are 2 type of exhibits, 1:1, 1 is too many, and the examples of 1 is too many annual report. Can anybody tell me, in your opinion, it will be 1:1 or 1 is too many? In your opinion, annual report? Yeah, very smart, very good, very good. So sometimes even by the name or by the size, you can judge it's a 2-page exhibit. Oh my god, so definitely it's a 1 is too many. And then what about this one, exhibit 2? I'm just trying to see whether you are able to guess 1:1 or 1 is too many. So exhibit 2 is a press release of the announcement of the new road in Beaton. It is a press release, and look at the size. It's not even half a page, and it is an announcement announcing new road between Da and Da. What do you think? 1 is too many or 1:1? Make a guess. Yeah, 1:1, because 1:1 normally is a very specific heading, very short, normally smaller in size. So when I'm reading the case, I will skip this one. I will read it later. Exhibit 3, let's look at it out of curiosity. Aha, I can look at it and say it's 1:1 or 1 is too many. Remember, it's a financial forecasted revenue and cost of constructions. So it's a very specific numbers calculation. So again, I'm pretty sure it is 1:1. The previous one was very small as well, very specific, relating to the announcement of roads, and this one was 1 is too many. So it's not very difficult, right, guys, to distinguish 1:1, 1 is too many. So I would skip this one. When I'm reading in the first 60 minutes, I will skip this one. I will read them if I have time left. Otherwise, I will push them off to the end. Exhibit 4, outline contents of the project initiation document and summary of operational issues. So this one talks about project initiation document, operational issues of PID. Looks complicated, but it is about project management. What can you make a guess? This might be a bit difficult. Yeah, it is a 1:1. I know that for a fact. It's a 1:1 because it just talks about project, PID. So there's one question on project management. Sorry, one question on, so it's a 1:1. What about this? Transcript of emergency meeting. Is it short or long? Oi, oi, oi. It's long. It's a transcript of a meeting attended by chief executive, chairman. I know it's It's 1:1, right? No. This is for sure 1:many, just because guessing from the length I can see, and it's a meeting transcript, right? So I told you that any board minutes, transcripts of board meetings, all these are 1:1. Very nice, good job. And small exhibit. I can just judge from the size. It's gonna be 1:1, but let's see. Exhibit 6, report of an interview with Burton Weather in Omega Land newspaper. And look at the heading. Big data. Do you see the heading? Big data. Very nice. So our question wanted us to make 2 slides talking about the benefits and cost of big data and some roads infrastructure project. So which exhibit? Here is the exhibit. You can see from the name it got big data exactly. So your answer will need to be prepared from exhibit 6. So where's the question? So the question is, prepare 2 presentation slides, discuss the benefits and cost of CC, of investing in big data analytics, and evaluate the possible opportunity in undertaking the long-term infrastructure management of roads in the 3 countries. How many marks? 10 marks. Now, how many slides you require? 2 slides. So can I say 1 slide is how many mark? Okay. So I will make a slide. How do you make a slide? You will actually draw like this, huh? You will draw oops, wait, I'll draw some slides. Okay, draw a box like this. This is for manual paper. Okay, in the CBE paper, the presentation slides templates are given. You just need to type into the presentation template. But for manual students, you will need to draw this big box. You will say heading, you will give a heading, slide 1. What's the name of the slide number 1? What's the name? Big data analytics. And you need to talk about what? The benefits and costs, right? One heading you will say is benefits and right. So this is the format which I have prepared. Now let's read the exhibit and see whether we are able to, we need to give our answers from the exhibit. CC is the name of the company, will be at the forefront of the construction sector in Omega Land in using big data to gain strategic advantage big data to gain strategic advantage according to its chief executive Burton. So what can be the benefit of big data? It can help us gain strategic advantage. We must make full use of all of the information available on traffic volumes and road conditions to run our operations efficiently and seize new opportunities to enhance shareholders' wealth. Don't you think these are the benefits of big data in the language of the chief executive? Isn't he telling us the advantage of benefit of investing in big data? He says that if we use big data, it will help us gain strategic advantages. It will, make our operations more efficient, and it will seize new opportunities to enhance shareholders' wealth. Isn't it the question requirement and discuss the benefits? Here's the benefit hidden in the exhibit. So even if you don't know the topic, if you read the exhibit with little bit of smartness, you can extract the benefits from the exhibit. No need to create some fancy story on your own. Let me see some comments. Easy, na? Do we need any scale? Yes, if you are a manual student, then you must carry a scale so that you neatly draw the slide. One page, one slide, okay? So do you understand the approach? I'm more interested in the approach of how you extract or squeeze out the relevant information from the story. Okay, let's move on. Mr. V wishes CC to develop big data capabilities alongside its current site smart initiatives. Okay, he believes that enhanced big data capabilities will help CC gain road infrastructure management contracts which are becoming available. Another advantage, it will help CC gain road infrastructure management contracts. Previously, the governments of Omega, Alpha, Beetle have managed their country's road networks themselves, only using companies like CC for specific maintenance and construction work. Now, however, the governments are looking to subcontract the management of some of their road network to private sector partners who will plan maintenance as well as carry it out. Blah, blah, blah. The private sector partners will also have ongoing responsibilities such as operating traffic controls and signage systems. Their income will be in the form of fees paid by government or toll charges on road users or a combination of both. So if we manage the roads as a private company, what we will get, our income will be in the form of fees. So that's a benefit, right? Mr. V is sure that CC will be able to provide what each government wants. CC will provide an integrated package of construction and support services that none of our competitors can match. We shall be the partner of choice for all three governments. What does this mean? This one. None of our competitors can match. This means it will give us competitive edge. Isn't that an advantage of which the CEO thinks that if we use proper big data analytics, and then none of our competitors can match us. This means that it will give us comp edge. So can you see advantages? I can see that it can, give big data to gain strategic advantages. How? By running our operations efficiently, new opportunities, comp edge, all these are advantages. What can be the costs? And when I say cost, or when the question say cost, it's just not the cost. Cost means the disadvantages or the risks of big data. It's a big investment. It requires a lot of significant. It requires significant investment because it's costly. Number one. Number two, there is high risk because relating to data security breach. That's too enough. So total marks is 5 marks. Remember, one slide is 5 marks. So I will just try to restrict myself. So there are 2 slides. Slide number 1 is big data analytics, and slide number 2 will be what do you want to call it? I need to check the so I've done this. Okay, very nice. So I've already solved it. So you will make a slide. Okay, you will make a slide. You will say slide number 1. Let me open the PDF version of this. Okay, just give me 1 second. Here you go. This is first slide. It will be from here to here. I'm just making a slide. This will be your slide in which I have mentioned 3 benefits: competitive edge, additional source of revenue, deeper insight into traffic. Cost could be costly, data storage and security. Now, what is the meaning of supporting notes? So it's very simple. The presentation slide will contain the headings or bullets. So these are bullets. Okay, these are headers or bullets. No long stories, just these are 1 sentences or bullets. And where is the explanation of this? So you will explain the whole story here. So you will explain this, what it means here. Okay, do you understand the approach of the presentation of slide, how you do it? Similarly, this is slide number 2. Followed by its supporting notes. Okay, so what you can do is, this question might get slightly tricky because they have asked you for 2 slides. So first slide you can talk about general benefits, or the strategic gain, operational efficiency, this and that. And here you can talk about fees and tolls. So basically you need to just break the information from the exhibit. So there's a lot of information in the exhibit. Just break it into 2 slides. Some of them will go into slide 1, some of them will go into slide 2. But the main thing is, all the answer is provided to you in the exhibit. There is no marks for theoretical answers. Whatever you will write will have to be in context of this scenario. Do I have any questions? We don't have to explain each bullet. Yes, Sadia, if you want, yes, it's better if you explain each bullet, but under the supporting notes. Okay. Can you share this solution? This solution is on my WhatsApp group. But this is, don't look at the solution now. Once you do the entire once you do this paper like a mock, then you look at the solution. Sir, the supporting notes on each of the slides will be separate from the slides? Yes, correct. Each presentation slide will have its own supporting notes. That's the standard format. Supporting notes also in slide 1? Yes. 15 lines per slide? No, 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 no. In the supporting, not per slide. In the supporting notes, yes. You might also reduce it. The number of lines does not really apply on presentation slide. It's just to give you an idea. Yes, sir. If we create more slides, yes, the examiner will get pissed off. In fact, in this guy is asking, can we create more slides? No, you have to exactly stick with the number of slides asked by the examiner. Not, they have asked for 2 slides, so you will not give 1, not give 3, you will exactly give 2. Is it always necessary to have supporting notes whenever you make slides? Yes. Thank you, Murtaza. Can we done first one to can we do first one-to-one exhibit requirements? Very interesting question. Mustaqim, I really like your questions. Mustaqim is asking, can we read one-to-one exhibit first? No, big no. Because the actual high scoring questions are hidden in the, you see, the 1:many thing. Okay. So I would not, I'm scared. I would go for 1:many first, because that is where the bulk of the marks are sitting. Do I need to explain every point I make in the supporting notes? Ideally, yes. So that is why you just write 2 or 3 bullets in the slide, not more, so that you can give 3 small paragraphs under supporting notes, 1 for each bullet. Is it okay to use abbreviations in our answer, like the name of the company? Name of the company, CC, yes. CC though, CC, this guy is on, the examiner is also using the word CC. So you can use abbreviations to some extent. Any rule of thumb for number of points, like for 5 marks, maximum to 3 points, minimum to maximum 3. Okay, good. Is how the marks are split between presentation and notes? I really don't know. They are all part and parcel. They must be together. Maybe out of 5 marks, 1 mark for the slide, or 2 marks for the slide, and 3 marks for the supporting. I really don't know. All right. I think there are really good questions from you guys. So big data is done. Now, next topic and the last topic, we've got like 45 minutes, right? Now we can do it easily. Topic of e-business and followed by e-marketing. Now, these 2 topics, recently the examiner has started asking these 2 topics. In the initial papers, they were never tested, but in the last 2-3 attempts, directly, indirectly, they are, going towards e-business. Right. The good news is it's not a difficult topic. E-business means doing business using internet technologies. Okay. So if you have a website or emails or apps, that means you are doing you are involved into electronic business. Okay. So, and if you are using internet technologies, emails, websites, apps, you are into E. E means electronic business, right? Now, what are the advantages of e-business? Why everybody is going crazy about e-business? Why our companies want to have an online wing as well? There are many advantages, but you must remember these four. And you must remember these four in the exact sequence. Okay, the sequence is very important. So the biggest advantage of online is more revenue because of globalization. That's the by far the biggest advantage. More revenue. And why more revenue? Because of globalization, because of no geographical limitation. You know, this traditional business model or a physical business model is where you need to have a physical shop. So only those people who are living near the shop or in the same city can come to your shop and buy your products. People who are not in the city or outside the country, they cannot buy your products. There's a geographical limitation in the physical model or the traditional business model. However, in the online business model, there is no geographical limitation because everything is through internet. Customer can be sitting in Brazil buying a product from Mumbai. He doesn't have to be physically there. He will place an online order, right? So that's the biggest advantage of e-business. More revenue because of globalization or because of no geographical restrictions. I cannot stress more on this than this. Okay. Now the second advantage is lower costs. So it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it leads to more revenues. On the other hand, it also leads to lower costs. So suddenly your profit margins doubles and triples. So how would this lead to lower cost? Because you don't need so much physical shops. You don't need physical locations. So lower rent, lower staff, right? So nowadays, all these banks, they are closing down their unprofitable branches. They are consolidating. They are moving more towards online banking, right? So lower costs. The third advantage of e-business is customer convenience. For sure, you must know that as a customer, that online is much more convenient because it's 24/7. You can easily communicate, interact with the company. You can browse through so many options. So it's customers really, sitting at home, they can do their shopping. And then also for companies, it's the marketing is relatively easier and cheaper in e-business. Okay, so improve marketing, personalized emails, personalized campaigns. You just click on the link and you will be redirected to the checkout page. So because everything is on a click of a button, it is more convenience and better marketing for sure. However, where there are advantages, there are disadvantages as well. And if you look, the list of disadvantages is more. The advantages is just this much, but the list of disadvantages is so long. But still, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. Definitely, online is very good. So what are the disadvantages? The biggest one, and again in order of sequence, you must remember the biggest disadvantage. Can you read? Not all customers use internet. That's the biggest disadvantage. And always in your answer, you must mention this one as the first disadvantage. We all know that only 10% or 20% of the world population, they use internet. The vast majority of the people, they don't have access to internet, or they are not literate, they don't have a computer, they don't have a credit card, whatever the reason. 85% of the world's population, they don't use internet for any reason. So if I'm a only online company, which means, if I only operate online, I will lose those customers who are not using internet. That is why, if you note, most companies, they offer both options. Banks, they offer physical banking as well as online banking. Airlines, they offer physical tickets, like you can go to the ticket office and book a ticket, or you can book online tickets. Education institutes, they offer physical classes and they offer online classes. Why they give both options? Because there is a vast majority who does not have access to internet, or they don't want to use internet for transactions. Second disadvantage is one-time setup cost. E-business does have a lot of advantages, but at least you need to set up e-business and you need to invest in a one-time setup cost. Now, what can be the examples of setup cost? You need to invest in hardware, you need to invest in software, you need to develop your websites, you need to increase your IT staff because now you are highly depending on internet. You need to integrate your website and transact with your current system. So a lot of hard work needs to go in initially. So that's one of the limitations. And then you will be exposed to security risks. So there are a lot of issues like cyber crimes and hacking and viruses and data privacy issues. You are carrying credit card numbers of your customers, right? Cyber crimes, frauds, quality issues, trust issues, all these are limitations of e-business. And then it can lead to legal complexity due to globalization. Don't worry about it. And it also leads to redundancy costs. Because of e-business, you are shutting down your physical branches. So you are basically laying off your staff. So, that's from a social point of view, there you are incurring redundancy costs. Right. So did you understand? This is the basic core of e-business. 4 advantages and 4 or 5 disadvantages. Do I have any questions? Do I have any questions? No. Okay. Easy, na? Easy. It's easy, but still students, they struggle in managing these questions. Now talk about e-marketing. So e-business means when we conduct business, which means we sell products. We sell products online. So the customer can place order online, he can make a payment, and we will dispatch the product. Then there is the concept of e-marketing, that we do marketing electronically. So there are two options. There's a physical or a traditional marketing, and there is online marketing. Physical marketing options includes what? Newspaper, magazines, billboards, flyers, TV, radios, all these traditional things which we have been seeing. So e-marketing means using internet technologies to do marketing. So what are the tools of e-marketing? So the tools of physical marketing, I told you, newspaper, billboard, these are all tools for flyers, physical marketing. But what are the tools or options of e-marketing? This is a very important list, very, very important list. Search engine optimization. It's called SEO, Google search, right? So for example, if I search best ACCA college in London, so immediately Google will throw up some nice names. those are paid names, paid advertisements. And then, so when a customer looks for anything, the first thing he will go to Google and he will search. So your company or your product should pop up on the top. That's called search engine optimization. That's the best way of marketing, because whenever a customer Googles, he will only click the first 3, 4, 5 options. He will never go to the 7th page, right? Another option is websites. Your website itself is a marketing tool. Emails, through emails you can do marketing. You can use social media for marketing like Facebook and YouTube and Twitters and Instas. You can offer online discounts that also kinds of attract people. Oh, online discount. Okay, let me avail this. Then there are blogs and forums. You can use blogs and forums and bloggers to promote your products. You can place links on related websites. For example, there's BPP and Kaplan and Oxford Brookes. They have links on ACCA website. And then there's subscribe to option, like you can subscribe to newsletters, new products, what's new, so the company will keep sending you latest updates. So this list you will need to remember. These are the tools of online marketing. If you cannot remember all of them, you must remember at least 50% of them. The most common is search engines, emails, social medias, blogs and forums, links on related websites. Okay. What are the advantages of e-marketing? Again, similar global reach, because it's not physical, it's electronic. If wherever is the customer, the ad is going to him through Facebook. The ad is going to him through email. So it doesn't matter wherever is the physical location of the customer, he will get it. And lower cost. E-marketing is much more cheaper, relatively cheaper than traditional marketing. It doesn't cost a lot to send 1,000 emails or 5,000 emails, right? And it's a 24-hour marketing. I mean, whenever you will open your Facebook, you will see my ad. And you can also create personalized marketing. Okay, it's only possible through online. However, there is a disadvantage: limited customers using internet. So your ads will not reach a person who doesn't have a Facebook account or an internet access. Right? Do I have any questions on e-business and e-marketing? So let's look at a question. It was recently asked in March 2020 SBL attempt. Oops, I've got to open it. So it's a SBL March 2020 paper. And we got to do question number 2B. So background is Tech There for You, TT for You, is a firm of information technology consultants. It's an IT firm founded 20 years ago. Very good. Initially offering advice on computer efficiency and security, and then the company has expanded to offer range of services including technology support and data hosting. So it's an IT company which provides a range of IT products. Let's go to question number 2A. I think it's 2B, not 2A. Yeah, 2B. So this company, they are now planning to go offer cloud-based services. You know what is a cloud-based services, right? So they have come up with this new product which they want to sell to their clients and new potential clients. B, prepare briefing notes for the next board meeting, which recommends how e-marketing can be used to attract and retain clients for TT4U's new cloud-based services. 10 marks. And professional skills is for commercial acumen, 3 marks. So total marks 13 marks. What's the requirement? Recommend how e-marketing can be used to attract and retain clients for TT4U's new cloud-based services. Very good. So the topic is e-marketing. Let's look at again the list of requirements and guess. Which is one to one or one too many. Number one says Exhibit 1, transcript of directors meeting about issues to be discussed with Stubfield consultants. It looks like a big one. Transcript. I'm pretty sure it is. What do you think? I think it's one is too many. I'm just showing you how, so that you get this idea of how you can quickly decide what to read and what to skip. So exhibit 1, because it's a transcript of directors meeting and it is lengthy, I would say it's one is too many. Okay. Exhibit 2, summary of Neobed client approach devised by Business Tomorrow magazine. Whoa, it's so small. It says, it talks about some Neobed. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Neobed. Okay, client. What do you think? One is too one or one is too many? It's very, very specific. Neobed, whatever. Very small. One is too one. I'm pretty sure. Third one is blog on IT consultancy sector on Business Tomorrow's magazine website. So this page called text tells me about IT consultancy sector or IT consultancy industry. I'm pretty sure. Oh, you see this? So even if your exhibits, 85 people like this article, 9 people disliked. Interesting. This is the unstructured data. Right. So I'm not sure whether this is 1 is to 1 or is it 1 is too many. I'm not sure, but I would think it's 1 is too many because it talks about industry. So it will contain some useful information, but I'm not sure. Sometimes you will not be sure. Client survey, exhibit 4, extracts of result of client survey. It looks like a very specific exhibit on client survey. I would say 1 is to 1. Exhibit 5, discussions of threatening letter about largest client Rex investment. Sounds like very specific. And it's short as well. I'm sure it's 1 is to 1. It talks about some threatening letter. It's a very specific thing. And exhibit 6 is a financial. Oh, but it's very long. Appraisal of cloud services investment prepared by recently appointed assistant to the finance director. So they've done a investment appraisal for the cloud services. So I'm pretty sure it is 1 is to 1 because it's a financial. But what else? There are some notes here, payback calculations and comments. It's probably like 1 is to 1. Because you remember the requirement, we need to talk about question number 2B, right? Prepare briefing notes for the next board meeting which recommends how e-marketing can be used to attract and retain clients for the new cloud-based services. 13 marks. How many points? 13 marks. The first thing I will calculate is, Baba, how many points I need to give? Quick, quick. Let me see. How many points for 13 marks? 26 points. My God. Emmanuel. Yes. 5 points. Are you crazy? You're going to give 10 points, 5 for acquisition, 5 for retention. Please watch my day 2 webinar. Please, don't give me heart attacks. For 13 marks, we need to give. So 1 point is how many marks? So we will assume that 1 point carries 2 marks. So for 13 marks, we have to just divide by 2. 7, the 14, 6 to 7. Minimum 6 points, maximum 7 points. Guys, you must be now very clear on this. 6 to 7, not 7. People who are saying 7, you are wrong. It has to be 6 or 7, depending on how much you can write. Minimum 6, maximum 7. Thank you. Devika, very nicely said. Sir, I keep getting confused. You said don't include total marks in calculating how to write. Don't include? What do you mean don't include? I always said that calculating number of points, we should always use total marks. Always use total marks. Okay, please don't get confused. Total marks is 13. So whenever or throughout my lecture, any calculation which I would suggest will always be based on total marks. That's my approach. So number of points should be based on total marks. Number of lines has to be based on total marks. Minutes or time has to be based on total marks. Okay, so we need to tell about 6 or 7 tools. That's it. So now we must remember that we must kind of, where is it? Where can I, how we can use e-marketing? Can anybody tell me how we can use e-marketing? So these are the tools of e-marketing. So if I'm an IT company and I am launching a new product called cloud-based services, how can I do marketing of it, e-marketing? Oh, number one, I would definitely go for search engine optimization, which means that if any potential client, they search, they Google cloud-based services, so my company's name should pop up immediately. Okay. Number two, I will, give a lot of attractive information about cloud-based services on my website. The first page of the website should talk about cloud-based services, should be very attractive. I can also send emails to potential clients as well as new clients. For potential clients as well as existing clients. For my existing clients, I already have email IDs of the IT managers and the point of contacts. So email would be a very important tool for marketing this product, right? I must use social media to market this product. On Facebook, there are pages. I should post this on my company's page. I should post this on professional relevant pages, Twitters, in the right groups. I can post my ad on YouTube in the right kind of videos, you know. Blogs and forums, I should, advertise properly on related IT related blogs, cloud services related blogs and forums, links on various websites. So if you remember this list, you can actually tell those guys how you can do really good marketing. But instead of giving a general list, you just need to tell them in context of cloud-based services. Huh? So you just tell them about you mentioned the name of the product, you mentioned their existing clients, new clients, this, that, da, da, da. I need some water, guys. Right. Any questions? This was a very high scoring question, but unfortunately, many students were not able to handle this question because they never studied e-marketing. And can you imagine, it was so simple if you know what are the e-marketing tools. Did you enjoy? It was so easy, right? Easy 13 marks. Oh, Ramiz, you did this paper. Oh my gosh. You see, isn't there two requirements, acquisition and retention? Yes, Misbah, there is two requirements. Good point. Listen, ideally, I would like to break between acquisition and retention. I would give some few tools for acquisition of new customers, and I would recommend few options for retention to how to target. So if you can easily split options between the two, then go for it. Okay, but if you feel that you will get stuck or confused and you will waste time, then don't bother about it. Okay, and then you just give a list. For example, for emails, I said that emails are more effective for existing clients. So this is how you can differentiate. You applied, Najla, she applied 6I model. So there's a model called 6I, interactivity and individualization and God knows what. So as I said, the beauty of SBL is you don't really need to apply any model when you can get a straightforward answer. Now again, tell me that you are preparing, if you read the requirement, it says prepare a briefing note for the board meeting, next board meeting. Do you really think board directors are interested in 6I, or are they interested in a common sense, basic, simple answer? Right. What is the difference between e-commerce and e-business? There is a slight difference, but in layman language, they are the same thing. Okay, enough. So I hope these today's three topics: CRM, big data, and e-business / e-marketing, I deliberately selected because these are small and easy topics, but unfortunately because students don't read them or they complicate them, in the exam they panic when they see questions on these topics. On the contrary, these are high scoring topics. That's why I selected this, so that you guys, if in case any questions comes in your attempt, you should be able to score high without complicating things. Huh? Keep it simple. Now we've got like 15 minutes and I am done with today's target. So I saw something interesting. So if I go down to exhibit 6, this one. So in this, they've given you an investment appraisal of the cloud-based services. And I'm pretty sure there's a question up there. There's a question there which says, analyze the proposal. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember. So now if you are the CFO and this sheet is in front of you and you are supposed to review this sheet, I need you to come up with at least 3 observations. The time starts now. You have got 60 seconds. Review this sheet as a CFO and try to find out some missing thing or some errors or something which shows that you have reviewed this properly. 60 seconds. Okay. You want 1 more minute? Were you able to identify 3, 4 irregularities or your review points as a CFO? There is no initial cost. Uni, I will shoot you. What kind of a CFO are you, Uni? There is an initial cost. What's this? Huh? How can I fix you? I cannot teach you this, right? Let me see more comments. Keep writing, guys. Sensitivity analysis should be considered. Very good. What is terminal value? Shame on you, Mr. CFO. Doesn't matter. There are many things which CFO doesn't know. So focus on what you know. Discount factor. What's wrong with discount factor? No gross profit. This is a cash flow statement. Fixed cost to be removed. Okay, sir, it is very challenging to come with points in exams sometimes. I gave you, so watch my September webinar, and I have given some checklist how to review financial projections. Marketing is fixed as 3rd and 4th year. So what? Good point, Siri. Okay. Assumptions need to be reviewed. Tax implication. What's wrong with tax implication? Very nice. Okay. Okay. Now I'll show you how a CFO reviews. So if this paper comes to me, I have a checklist in my head. First of all, I will see whether this projection is based on, oops, what's this? Whether this projection is based on discounted cash flow or not. Because any long-term investment decision has to be based on discounted cash flow approach. Someone mentioned there is no gross profit. If I was the examiner, I would have shot you. Okay, So first of all, as a CFO, I will make sure that this is a proper discounted cash flow. So does it look like a discounted cash flow? I see a discount factor 1 and this. Yeah, it looks like it's discounted. It says cash flows, and there's some notes about discount factor. So I go to 6. 6 says discount factor of 6% is after tax interest because this project is long term. Fine, sounds good to me. Okay, so item number 1 is fulfilled. It is used, this calculation is using proper discounted cash flow method. Second thing I will look at is key assumptions, because you know all these projected cash flows are based on assumptions. So the first item is sales: 8,000, 10,000, 13,000, 15,000. So it's going up. Note 1, what do they say in note 1? Sales are based on expected increase in market, client services and prices. So I'm nervous. I don't know whether these projections of sales are how much reliable or accurate. So I would always ask for something called sensitivity analysis. I will ask the team to do a sensitivity analysis. What is a sensitivity analysis? It just says what if the revenue is lower by 20%? What if the cost goes up? So it's a what if scenario. So I would always recommend to do a sensitivity analysis. So that's my one observation. Okay. Okay. What others? Contribution is 4.4, 44, 56, 72, 85. What's the basis of that? Contribution is assumed at 55% of revenue. Why 55%? Oh, it's because it says it's with current margins. Okay. Marketing costs. Okay. Tax. Is it tax? The third thing I look at is tax. I want to see after tax. So they have considered tax. Okay, fine. They have considered tax. So looks good to me so far. And then terminal investment is this. Terminal value is there. I don't know what a terminal value is. Terminal value represents assumed realizable value if services are no longer viable after 4 years. Okay. Now is the discounted cash flow here. The bottom line. The net present value works out to be 3.2 million. That's the main message. The net present value is 3.2 million. And then what is this? Net present value year 5 to 10 is 23 million. Note 7. Year 5 to 10 figure is post tax discounted cash flow for year 4 multiplied by 6. Are you crazy? This is now not how you calculate future net present value by multiplying the 4th year by 6. So this is something I will make a noise in my answer. I will make a comment about some key assumptions. I will talk about sensitivity analysis. And then they've calculated payback. I will check this. I will read a couple of these notes and come up with few points. So do you understand the approach? It's so for checking a DCF, you need to look at few things. Number 1, first make sure it is based on discounted cash flow. Number 2, you need to look at the key assumptions to make sure that there is no crazy assumption. Assumptions needs to be realistic. Number 3, you need to look at tax implications. If they have not considered tax, then you need to mention that they should consider tax implications. Number 4, you need to look at paybacks, whether the payback has been calculated or not. Number 5, you need to talk about that sensitivity analysis should be done. Right, guys? So, did you enjoy? It is supposed, actually, this guy Murtaza is saying that you take paper, you easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, it is a easy peasy lemon peasy paper. It is a, remember on the first day I told you that it is a boardroom paper. You need to think like a CFO. You feel yourself like a CFO. You are sitting in the board. When you are on the other side, when you feel like a CFO, automatically things will start flowing into your head. I swear. You will feel, because if you feel like a CFO, what rocket science did I did? I reviewed this right in front of you, and I just picked up some basic questions. I just picked up some basic stuff. That's it. So this is exactly the approach which you need to practice. This will come from practice. When you solve like 2 or 3 SBL questions, then you will build up your confidence. Okay. Right, guys. Do I have any questions relating to this topic or otherwise? I would be happy to answer now. Can we talk about IRR? Yeah, you can make one comment about IRR, no problem. When the requirement says critically evaluate, do we point out the bad parts only? Yes, Simran. Briefing paper, the examiner's format is just heading. Forget about the formats. I will share all the formats on the last day. Okay, don't worry about formats. Don't worry about professional skills. I will share everything on the last day, on Friday. Why only interest rate as taken for DSF? I have no idea. Yes, you can ask Sharik, sure. Yes, you can. Onyani. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your name correctly. How to link e-marketing requirement with case or exhibit? If you know the tool, e-marketing, you must know the tool. It's YouTube, it's Google, it's emails. And how you link with the case, you know the company, you know the products, you know the customer. So when you draft, you just use the name of the products, the name of the customers. So your answer would be, in context of the customer, of the case study. That's how you link it. It's not a rocket science. Otto, I don't see your comments, Otto. Can we ask for cost breakdowns for who? Ronit? Yeah, you can, but these are smaller stuff, right? You can ask for cost breakdowns. Password, Sharik. System controls were written in general controls in the answer. System controls were written in general controls. I don't understand, Sharik. Is the Baldrige model and Mintzberg building block important? Nitin? On day 1, I have given you a list of models, top 10 models. These 2 models are not in that list. So please don't ask questions like this, okay? They are not important. Will you be discussing professional skills? Absolutely, yes. They carry 20 marks out of 100. How can I miss them? Or you missed day 1 and day 2, can you please reshare notes and recordings? I cannot reshare. All the notes recordings are on the Vimeo and YouTube. Okay. Should we use many headings? Yes, that would be nice. IT controls are further divided into system and IT controls. What about general controls? Sharik, don't get confused. Don't complicate stuff. Okay. Whew. Right, guys. Last thing for people who have joined a bit late. uh, Again, those students who are not part of my WhatsApp group, please WhatsApp me on this number and I will add you on my SBL WhatsApp group. And there people can share the handouts and the recordings to help fellow students. Right? So with that, I will be ending tonight's session. Today was small, interesting, but important topics, high scoring topics. And tomorrow we will talk about risk management, internal audit, audit committees, and those stuff. Right? So with that, I will see you guys tomorrow, inshallah. Take care and good night.